Alright, this is day 2 of our birthday girls cabin project. We've got some logs on the sawhorses ready to go here, and the plan is we're going to dovetail one course of logs, so it'll be 2 16-footers, a 12-footer for the end, and then we're going to do stubs to go from the between the door and window on this side. And then once we have those cut, Matilda the crane truck is going to assist us to stack them. That way we can keep going up. You can also do a second stack on the ground, but right now we're going to go up because we've got an academy coming up here and we got to save room in the yard. This is our first set of logs for the day, and you can see they've got some character. This bark will come off like we talked about yesterday, and then we'll also use a draw knife to kind of touch that up. And then the staining that you see, because a log that sits out in any sort of a humid climate for sure is going to stain pretty quickly. We're not worried about that right now. We're just going to put it in our dry stack, but before we stack it permanently, we will use a product that Sashco builds called CPR, and it does a great job of cleaning these logs up, making them bright, and we'll do that before we do the final stack, and they're just going to be handled several more times, and so we're going to wait on that. So when you pick in where your log is going to go in your wall, any bow or crown is either going to be up or it's going to go to the outside. So you can see on this one, it's just got a little bit of a bow off to this side. So this is going to be the outside. And this will be the top. So you're going to take a good marker, and this helps you stay consistent. We're going to just make an arrow on the top of the log that points to the outside of the building. So same thing, this one has got a little bit of a bow to this side. And another thing to consider is I like to showcase that live edge. So we're going to make this the top, and now since we rolled it, our bow is going to this side as well. So we're going to make that same arrow on the top of the log pointing to the outside of the building. Now this log is pretty straight this way, but it's got just a little bit of a dip here, so this we're gonna call the bottom. So this is our top. And we're gonna make this the outside here. Now we're ready to dovetail. So we're getting ready for our end cut here. And whenever you put your jig on, to get a good even clamp, especially when you've got shoulder missing because of that live edge, tighten 2 wing nuts at a time, start closest to the end, and that just makes sure things don't get cockeyed as you tighten it down. And then move to the back. And we're ready.
So for the sake of efficiency, we've set up a system here where we're doing several logs at a time. And the first thing I'm doing is going along and making the end cuts while Corey is going through behind me and measuring from the end down to that part of the log so that we get the measurement accurate. If we measure before we cut the dovetail, then we have a completely accurate measurement. Whereas if this dovetail was cut, we would be trying to bend over the side or measure from down here, and it's really a lot harder to get consistent measurement and cut. So once she gets done measuring these down on that end and marking them, then I will go back with this jig, flip it over, and go ahead and cut the dovetails, and then we'll go to that end.
So grinder, how do you know that you're putting this jig on right?
I guessed. I'm kidding. So we've marked, Corey has marked the outside, which part of the log is going to the outside. And the skinny part of the jig always goes to the outside of the log. So I have positioned it so the fat side is on the back, the skinny side is on the front. And then what I've done, since I've already made the flush cut, is I've just lined up this part of the jig with the end of the log, and then I've gone ahead and tightened it down so that it's in place. Now I'm ready to make a precision cut.
You like the battery saw better than the gas saw?
I just use what I'm given. Yes, I like it. It's easy.
You don't have to start it every time you pull up?
No.
So while the birthday girls were getting a lot better feel of a chainsaw and cutting dovetails, Jared got to spend a little more time with Matilda the hooker now that she's back in business. For which we are so thankful. Stacking those logs by hand above your shoulder is just not something we need to be messing with. See, we were not to prove anything here. We just wanted to have fun and get the job done. And boy, howdy, am I thankful for machines and a man to run them. So here we are at the end of day 2 on our birthday girl skid cabin build. And even though this cabin is designed to be mobile if ever we want to take it off the property to a different location, we're keeping the footprint small because of that, so it could go down the road. And we're also keeping the height to where it's comfortable, but also it could go down the road and under power lines. But even still, it's amazing how we're up 8 courses now, and it is amazing how it starts to feel like a significant building, even though it's only 12 by 16. But it's pretty fun to see the progress. This is one of my favorite logs here. I love the live edge and how it really accentuates that joint. And even though this side looks kind of scrubby with all the stain, eventually that's gonna come off, and it's got a bunch of fun live edge and knots to show off, and it's just gonna turn out really cool. So to sum up, today was pretty simple. We were just stacking walls. But we're about at the height that we want now. So the next course we're gonna do 4 full logs. They won't be cut out like these are to hold everything together. And then once we have that fitted, we're gonna take that off again, set it on the ground, make sure it's square, and then we'll build the roof structure on top of that on the ground, just because it's a lot safer. You're not running up and down ladders. And then once it's together, it'll go back on this building. So all in all, it's pretty fun to see it coming together, and stay tuned for the roof structure.